Hello, this is Rich Lavens of Eurotherm by Watlow, and I've been getting this question on our Eurotherm 3500 series quite frequently. We have a relatively new version of 3500s called the 3504 or 3508 slash CCE. We updated the 3500 series with a new chipset when the last version's chips became a bit hard to get. But with that, you can see down here in the lower left, I have a 3504 version 4.15. Now, you may have a clone file from a prior version of firmware. So say it's 3.5. So what's happening is, here's my instrument. Let's try loading a version 3.5. So we'll go here. And here's a 3.5 clone file example. So we're going to hit OK. And it's going to try loading a version 3.5 clone file into a version 4.15. So we'll let that progress a little bit. And you can see we got errors. And the first error is 3500 version 3.51, which is not compatible with this version 4.15. So the command failed. So here's how we get around that. We're going to close this. And let's go open that 3.5 file. So we're going to open a file. And we're going to find that same one right here. And we're going to open it. So this may take a few minutes. I'm going to edit this down for sake of time, but it usually takes 30, 40 seconds, something like that. So now we're loading the clone file. It's successfully added. So down here, you can see there's a 3504 running version 3.51 firmware. If I go into my graphical wiring, here's kind of what's going on. So again, not that this is important, but just to show you. So anyway, what I want to do is, once this loads, I'm going to come up here to the file, and I want to migrate the 3.51 file to the new firmware. Let's open on my other screen. So, all right, what do you want to migrate it to? So you've got 3504s and 3508s with different firmware versions. I want to load it into a 3504 with version 4.15. So we're going to hit this. And it's going to migrate 3.51 over to 4.15. Again, I'm going to edit this for sake of time. And you can see it's progressing now. It probably took, again, 30, 40 seconds. So the loading of the clone file to the IDM is complete, and it successfully added that. Again, now it's going to actually migrate the file. So again, this could take a few seconds, again, probably in that 30 to 40 second time frame to finish the migration. So we'll sit here and be patient. All right, so it is now finished. You can see it created a new file up here in version 4.15. So this kind of gets people excited. So really, when the migration is done, it gives you some warnings and basically says, hey, double check this, make sure it's right. If I come over to the warning tab here, it'll tell you, hey, there's a couple things that weren't wired properly, and this is fairly normal. The migration gets you probably 90, 95% close, but we definitely want to go in and check these things. So I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to close this. So again, it's going to ask you if you want the log file. In this case, I don't. So we'll close that, and let's go to our graphical wiring. So this is telling us those two warnings. So it kind of prompts you right on the screen. So this one, there was an alarm threshold wired to an instrument block. My instrument block is down here. I've played with this before. So what I have to do on this one, it's looking for auxiliary bar graph, and where's it coming from? Alarm 1 threshold. So I would have to go in here, find my alarm 1 threshold here, and draw a wire to this auxiliary bar graph. And then I'm going to do the same thing at alarm block 2. There's my threshold. Drag a wire up here and connect those. Those are the two wires it missed. So now I can click on this message, and we'll delete those two messages. And we'll finally come up here to this little blue cube, which says download wiring to instrument. We're going to click that. And we have fixed our two wiring issues. The rest of it looks good. And then finally, again, we're in this untitled number 3. Let's go ahead and save that as. We're going to do this, except we want to make it version 4.15. And again, this is up to you what you want to call it, but just so I know what I'm looking at here. 4.15, save it to my desktop. So that is saved. Let this finish up here. So we save that. Now we can come up here. This untitled 1 is the instrument I want to load that to. So now if I come up here, click on instrument 1, hit load, find that same file right there. That should go ahead and load properly now. So that is now migrated. Again, some messages information. We're going to close that box. Here's the same instrument. If I go to my graphical wiring now, you can see that it indeed took the same file, converted it or migrated it from 3.51 to 4.15, and then loaded correctly. So again, the procedure is find your old version of clone file, open it in iTools, migrate it to the version you want, again, 3504 version 4.15. Once it's migrated, check your wires to make sure that nothing was dropped during the migration. Once that's been resolved, save it as a new file, and then you can come back to your new version of 3504 and load the file successfully. Hope this answers all your questions, but drop us an email or give us a call if we can be of any assistance. Thank you.